on like Don.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Narco Cop MMA, and this is the Lambo Plays podcast. I lost track of the episodes. I think we're over 120 now. This is UFC Vegas 102. We are going to give you our favorite props, our predictions on these fights. So I'm your host, Mike, along with my co-host, Timothy Troiano. Tim, another week, another Lambo Plays podcast. Yeah, this card, we kind of talked about a little bit before this show started. I don't know about these props, man. Prices have been pretty bad. But, you know, hopefully we can hit some of these. Again, you know, like I told you, I don't really feel great about this card as far as props are concerned. And I only honestly have one money line bet as well. So, yeah, how do you feel about this UFC Vegas 102 card?
Yeah, we are the Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man gif here. I am feeling the exact same way. Yeah, super dangerous card. A lot of unreliable fighters and some bad lines on some props that I don't necessarily even know hit. So I'm going to be very, very light on this card and save money for other cards.
Yeah, I feel like ever since this show, like these props keep going down and down and down. They're just getting nuked. And they've been pretty damn bad. But let me go over to my chat. Shout out my chat first. And it's the first one in the house is Elijah. Feels like a good weekend to cash a Lambo. Yeah, it always feels like a good weekend to cash Lambo. Mushroom, what's up? One more sleep. DA says he wants to leave this message nice and early. Thank you, Narco Tim, and entire Discord, because of everyone I managed to get on a draw crew at 3,500. All right, my man. Andrew Peden, my favorite date breakdown. He says, thank you. I appreciate you. Dixon, Narco Tim, I'm having a prime rib steak for dinner tonight at work. So it's a sign it's going to be a prosperous weekend. Tim, get the Wagyus, and Narco, get the sake ready, baby. Actually, I had the sake ready. It's funny he says that. I had the sake ready to go, and then I went with the high noon. So I actually, this is the first time I've tried this prickly pear. It's really good.
I had a Zoa at work the other day. I was drinking like the Zoa energy drink, and the bottle looks exactly, the can looks exactly like that. And a couple of the kids I coach are you drinking high noons right now while coaching us? I'm like, no, actually not.
You should have told the kids, how do you know what the hell high noons are?
Exactly.
That's your response. All right, let me go over. Hangry Dana says, Narco, you got a Discord. You got to make the Discord $5 a month. What the hell, dude? I'd rather not have it at that point. Buster Jensen, great card for prop parlays. Love you guys. Stay black. Cuck Boy says, first time here, boys. Are we going to make some money this weekend? I hope we will. There will be blood. What's up, my man? Thank you for joining. Daz Files, another zoo by decision, no less. Let's effing go. Yeah, that was definitely good. Ryan the Ripper. OX fighter as a dog. Make it make sense. Yeah, I mean, he should be a dog technically, but I get what you're saying. Mr. Chico, that time again. Yes, sir. Gabriel, let's go. Jackie Blaine, I like this card from a betting perspective and can't wait for you gents to break it down for us. Much respect. Thank you, my man. Why does Jackie Blaine still have my picture there, dude? Look at it. It's still my picture. Oh, man. Let's see who else. Wacky Iraqi. What's up, my man? Thank you for joining. These Nuts says, what's up, fellas? Let's cash this week. Yes, sir. Guru. What's up? Usually part of the Rewatch King, but I'm here live. Appreciate you, my man. Felipe, shout out to you as well. Wahib says, my wife wants a Lambo for Valentine's. Let's get this money. Yes, sir. That's not a bad idea for your wife. Arturo, bonjour. Bonjour, my friend. Mark, what's up, my man? Thank you for joining. Luis says, good morning, everyone. Luis, you are probably somewhere in Australia, maybe? Somewhere that way. Rashid, we are cashing big live tomorrow. Pre-flop bets suck this week except props. I don't like it at all. I agree with you. Sujit says 2K week. That would be nice. Eric, let's go USA hockey. Joel, what's up, my man? This is a big one. Let's effing go. Steve's biggest fan is here. Azure, what's up? Smash the like he says. Smash that like. Listen to the man. Who else do we have here? Hallelujah. What's up? Thank you for joining. Victor G, let's effing go. Let's cash those split props. You got to talk to Tim about those. Degen Kid, Bukka is free like air. I don't know about that one. Craig Crowley, what's up? All right, Tim, 182 in here. We have to kick it up to 500, guys. Like, subscribe, retweet it, do whatever you got to do. Let's get some more people in here. Appreciate you guys very much. And my favorite saying, cash it. Don't trash it, Tim. All right. Let's start out here. We're going to start out with the first fight of the night. And per usual, always goes to Tim. He's a great guy, so I give him these great fights always early. So it is in the bantamweight division. It is the 9-3 Julia Avila versus the 8-1 Jacqueline Cavalcante. And this one is yours, Tim.
Can't wait to break this one down. It's going to be quick, fellas. Tell you what, Avila will always have a special place in my heart. Cashed Misha Tate, round 3 prop and round 3 sub at like 42-1 on her last fight. Absolute beatdown, fading, coming back from having a baby. She does not look right. In interviews, she's talking about not being necessarily ready for this. I think this is a paycheck fight for her. And I think on the other side, Cavalcante is, just a striker primarily. She's not going to grapple. This fight is, if anybody's going to try to grapple, I think it would probably be Avila in this situation, especially if she's getting lit up on the feet, which is what I think is going to happen. Cavalcante is a very good striker. I think she hits harder than the line is suggesting for like the fight goes and her decision prop. I like her to eventually get a KO later on in the fight as the Lambo play. KO is plus 450, KO2 is 1600, KO3 is 2300. I just think that it's possible. It's most likely a decision, but I'm banking on Avila having some quit in her. She's been finished both ways by sub and by KO in her 2 losses. And I just think that this is definitely a possibility in this fight. I think Nunes, in the last fight with Nunes versus Cavalcante crushed Nunes' face a few times. I think if that happens, there could be some give up on Avila here. So give me the KO and the KO 2-3 for Cavalcante.
No, last fight, it was Cornolo. Your favorite.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Cornelia. I'm sorry.
She did. You're right. She did crush. She hit Nunes with some big shots. Just Nunes is super tough. And then she hurt your favorite Cornolio. But yeah. I mean, this is a fight where, Avila, like she says in her interview, like, I'm not really ready. They basically asked her, are you ready for this fight? And she goes, well, I took it a little bit too soon, which tells me, she's not ready. She's not ready. She made weight, whatever, but she's facing a girl that's a lot younger, that's a very good striker. She's longer. Avila is tough. She throws hard. I do think she has power, actually, Avila, and she throws pretty damn hard. But I don't think she wins this fight. Like, Cavalcante's footwork is too good. She's got better striking, probably stronger in the clinch as well. And, when you put all that together, and Avila, not really fighting, she's been injured, all types of stuff. I think it's possible Cavalcante gets the ITD here. I don't want to play KO just because it's like a little bit over $1 difference. Just in case. I took I took Cavalcante ITD. It's 320. It's not the best price either. I do think it's probably decision. I mean, it's WMMA, but I'm going to take my shot here on the younger girl, the girl that's more active, the girl that's a better striker. I mean, Avila probably shouldn't even be here, to be honest. Now, I will say that, you don't really want to play these minus 700 WMMA where Cavalcante is primarily a striker. Like it's kind of hard to cover minus 700 in a striking match where there's not much grappling from her. I don't see much grappling on regionals. I don't see grappling much at all. So, yeah, I mean, I would be careful, like parlaying something like that at minus 700.
Yeah, dude, she won the last 2 fights handily, and they both were split decisions.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty bad. The one was in France, which I could see why,
right,
against Cornolio last one, but the other one against
Nunes was close. Yeah,
it should not have been split, but yeah, maybe they don't like this girl. I don't know. All right, let's move on. Fight number 2. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 12-1 Walter Walker versus the 11-7 Dontel Mays. I'll take this one. Mays looks like I don't know, a bag of milk. I don't know what you want to call him, but he looks awful on the scales. He's got big belly, 266 pounds at the limit of the heavyweight division. So he probably had to cut to get there. Looks like he didn't train. He's lost muscle. I mean, I had like before and after pictures, like his chest looked better. His shoulders looked better. He really looks very bad on the scales, So, that's 1. 2, Mays is already bad to begin with. Like he's not a very good fighter. He's low volume. He's a turtle off his back. Not the best takedown defense. Yada yada yada. And now he's missing weight. He looks bad. And then on the opposite side, like, there is concerns of cardio stuff with Walter Walker, but that's when he wasn't in shape like this. Like if you look at the guy now, he looks like a completely different guy from when he fought Bresky, right? Bresky, he weighed in at 264. Today he weighed in at 245, and last fight, actually, he weighed in at 252. So even lost 7 more pounds. And you could see it in his body, man. The guy is cut up for heavyweight. His abs are starting to pop out. And to me, that means 2 things, Tim. He's probably taking fighting more serious. He's taking his diet more serious, and he's probably doing more cardio. All of those things are good for him because he's a grappler, right? And the one thing we mentioned is gas tank is suspect. So in this fight, I just think Walker's going to take Mays down, and I don't think Mays is getting up. I'm going to go with the ground and pound KO. It's at 575. I just feel like, he's got a bunch of ground and pound KOs already. Sub is like too many people hit the sub and it's very low compared to his KO. I rather go KO here. I think he probably gets to some dominant position, maybe flattens him out and pounds him out, or maybe honestly Mays just might do a quit job here because he does not look like he's in shape. He might just be here for a paycheck. I don't know, but the guy is I don't know. He's just not taking fighting seriously, it seems. Maybe I'm wrong, but give me the KO at 575 on Walker.
Yeah, this fight is just a massive just pass for me. I really think that there's major red flags on both these guys, but I'm with you though. If I had a gun in my head, I had to pick a prop for the people. I would pick. I like 2. I like the Walter sub it's plus 400. It's not a terrible line. We hit the last one at like plus 1100 versus Tafa. And then if you got MGM, Walker heel hook is 50-1. Like, you know, you don't like that?
I just think it's so square, bro. Like the people saw that basically it's like wiki capping that this guy got heel hooked by Gon and then Walker got a heel hook last fight.
I mean, yeah.
I don't, it's just such a low, like, does it happen 50 out of, does it happen 1 out of 50 times? I don't even think so, honestly.
Theoretically, it's already happened 2 times out of the 50.
I know what you're saying.
Another one. No,
I don't know.
To me, I agree that I don't think that it's like obviously likely to happen, but it's more like when you like the end of the round the last fight with Tafa, if you see a guy that's like going for that type of sub in the end of a round, I think it's smart. Like, I think if you're going for a heel hook in the middle of a round or you're going for a heel hook, generally speaking, I think that's stupid, like a lot of the time. But if you're going for it like at the end of a round like he did, not only is it say that you actually like the move, but it's like, no, I know that I could maybe potentially finish this in 10 seconds and I only have 10 seconds, so I'm not going to get my ass beat if I don't get this from bottom position. So yeah, I just like the Walker sub, but I saw at 50-1, I'm like, maybe worth $10.
Yeah, I you know what? I didn't even think his sub was that big. It's actually 450.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Terrible. It's not terrible, actually. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Fight number 3. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 16-8 Vince Morales versus the newcomer, the 7-1 Elijah Smith, and this one's yours.
This is an interesting fight because, you know, you got Morales. The line has come down a ton on Morales. I know you've had a piece in that as well. Just like, I don't know, just the Dana White Contender Series fight for me was just really, really bad for Elijah. And I just feel like that Tao guy was just not a good fighter, and he was just pressuring him and just, you know, he made him gas out pretty hard. There wasn't tremendous like adversity to have to overcome in the first round or two, and he's just totally death gassing in round 3. To me, I feel like this fight is, you know, it could go a couple different ways. It could be Elijah's able to get, use his athleticism and speed and maybe just throw some more volume. The problem with Morales is he doesn't really, striking wise, he just doesn't separate in fights, and he can be kicked, which I think will be live here as well. But to me, the things that I like about Morales in this fight are he's a dog that will fight for your money. He's not easy to put away. Only got to put him away with strikes is kicking the shit out of his leg. So he can take punches. I think also he is not going to be easy to take down in this fight. And I also really like his front choke series. So to me, I just think like if Elijah gets tired and Elijah tries to shoot one of those shitty takedowns again in this fight, I just think that the Darce and Anaconda are going to be there all day. So give me Morales by sub plus 650. I also think that it happened late. Sub 2 is plus 2100. Sub 3 is plus 3100.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. I think so. I gave this out, and we got plus 200 earlier in the week, and the line has absolutely been smashed like bad. And so now, now the line's like 120 or something. And I think everybody's noticed that, like, Elijah Smith, don't get me wrong, I think he's skilled. I think he's not a bad fighter. He can wrestle. He's got good power. He can strike. He's fast. He's athletic. All those things are great, but he's very, very green. He's 22 years old, right? He gets tired in fights, which I don't like seeing, right? And the main thing here, what made me bet Morales is I feel like Morales, if this was the old Morales fighting, I probably wouldn't bet him because he kind of sits back. He doesn't do much. He'll throw little punches here and there, but He just wasn't aggressive before. And now lately, dude, like last fight against Lapalus, he was very aggressive, coming forward a lot, throwing punches, going for takedowns, grappling a ton. It's not easy. He took down Lapalus like 5 or 6 downs. He just couldn't hold him down, right? He held him down like twice for a little bit. But Lapalus is like elite. He's got a great takedown defense and get-up game, like elite takedown defense. And Lapalus is an extremely technical striker. You know, he's got very good footwork. So all those things, Lapalus is way better than Smith. And honestly, when I watched back that fight, and it was in France, it was pretty competitive. Yeah, Lapalus won, clearly, but it was a competitive fight. He wasn't blowing out Morales. And now this is a huge step down for him, man, and a huge step up for the other kid. And we got this like crazy big line early, and now it's gone. And like you mentioned, man, I think the thing with Smith is, I think as he tires, Tim, he's gonna start shooting some. You know, if the pressure's on, he might either shoot sloppy takedowns or Morales gets him down and he's on top, right? And he makes a mistake in the grappling, because Morales is a good grappler, man. Like he hunts those submissions too. And they're all types of submissions, you know? So Morales sub actually 750 on if you have Hard Rock. So anybody with Hard Rock, 750 is the best line. And sub 2-3 is 1300. I do agree with you. I think as the fight goes on, when this guy gets a bit tired, is when Morales probably has more success with the grappling. Early on when he's fresh, I could still see him snatching, because, you know, when you're dry and you get into some kind of front choke, and this guy has very good chokes, it's hard to get out, you know, and he, you know, Smith, I'm sure, hasn't really been put in these very, very bad positions. So, yeah, I mean, I like Morales here as well, sub and 2-3. Let's move on. Fight number 4. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 16-1 Gabriel Bonfim versus the 15-3 Chaos Williams. And, you know, someone mentioned earlier, you know, Williams being this big of a dog, I don't agree with. I'm with you. I think the line's a bit too big. Williams is, you know, he's very, very strong. 1, you know, he's not going to be easy to take down. 2, he gets right back up because he's so damn strong when he gets taken down. And 3, he has huge power with great durability, you know, and it's like, he's going to be there. He's going to exist, and he's going to throw huge shots when he's there. And what I don't like from Bonfim is he tends to like get into these, you know, dick measuring contests sometimes. And I don't think he wants to do that with Chaos. You know, Chaos can crack. He's got a lot of power. And, you know, he's hurt a lot of people. The one thing I will say with Chaos, and going back and watching, a lot of these people he's fought, he hurt, but he did not finish. And it's like, unless he starches you like one-hitter quitter like he did to Harris, it's usually like, and actually Al Hassan, he killed too with that huge right hand. But if he doesn't kill you, like, it's possible you can survive. Like, if he just hurts you, he doesn't have that killer instinct in him for some reason. He's so calm, right? You could see him too. He's very, very calm in the fire. So that also takes away from his killer instinct, in my opinion. So with all that being said, Tim, I do think Bonfim probably wins a little bit more minutes. I could also see a lot of big moments for Williams. I'm gonna go with a play against the grain here and go with Williams by decision at plus 800. Williams by split decision plus 2,200. So yeah, I think there's a world where this fight can go to decision, and there's a world where Williams wins the decision. So yeah, I'm gonna take him here by decision and split. What do you have here, Tim?
I I have the N split, chaos points, chaos split, and then I wrote down on the bottom, I'm like, the chaos KO1 is 750 and the KO2 is plus 1,000, and I'm like, ugh, god damn it. I think that all of those are like, it's got to be chaos for me at these lines. But I'm with you. I kind of think like minus the starching guys, it also just depends on like, we really haven't seen Bonfim like fight guys that are this hard of hitters. Like we don't really know, like he could be super, super durable. You know what I'm saying? Like if he's super, super durable, then this could look really good. I totally agree on the minutes versus moments. The Bedoya fight was just like this as well. Everybody thought Bedoya won the fight, but it was just moments, moments for chaos. I think you could make the argument that chaos won the Brown fight as well, but it's just like there's a lot of splitish kind of territory with his fights. He's going to probably get hit more. He might be taken down and around, things like that. But I just think that the moments for him and the bigger shots from him are going to be what sways the judges. So I'm with you, man. I'm on the island with you. End split plus 700 chaos points plus 800 chaos split 22-1.
All right, let's move on. Fight number 5. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 12-0 Rafael Estevam versus the 11-2 Jesus Agalar. What do you have here, Tim?
Got a used Corolla on this one. If you want to take shots at the rounds on the sub for Estevam, that's fine by me. But Estevam by sub plus 210. If you even hate that, you could do ends by sub at plus 150 is even worse. That's like a used Schwinn, just in case the Jesus gets his patented guillotine. Really, Jesus to me is T-Rexed overhand right and a guillotine. And if you can stay safe from that, you should be good. The wrestling and the grappling and the jiu-jitsu for me, for Estevam, and he's just a monster size-wise in this fight. So, like, I don't think that this is like look at how he gassed out versus Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson's is gigantic for this weight class as well. Not easy to hold down. And I just think that if in this fight, I just think that when it gets to the ground, I think that this is a situation where he'll be able to pass. Jesus is not going to just lay on his back. He's going to probably try to get up, potentially give up his back, potentially give up positions, and the sub will be there. So sub plus 210. I lean round 1 or round 2 with it. But yeah, I just think that he's going to eventually sub him.
Yeah, I'm right there with you again, man. Like, what is this? Like, are we just going to agree on everything today or what? I took just Estevam sub, plus 240. I think he's a really good grappler, has very good wrestling, probably the best grappler outside of Tyra that he's faced. Agalar, and Agalar just puts himself in very bad spots. Even last fight that he won, he was in a terrible spot. He was at his back taken. He got flattened out by the Australian dude. And if you do that against Estevam, he's going to make you pay, whether it be ground and pound. He throws good at ground and pound. And that's the thing I'm scared of with the sub bet. I think he throws good ground and pound where he can just absolutely smash him if he's in dominant position. But, yeah, I think Estevan sub here, plus 240. I'm not even going to get cute with rounds and stuff like that. He looks in great shape. He made weight. He's huge for flyweight. Dude is every bit of 5'8" and just very, very big for a flyweight division. So I did take the sub here. Yeah, if you want to go fight ends and sub, I mean, it's something. I don't think he's subbing this guy, honestly. Guillotine against this high level of a grappler, I don't see it. I really don't, but it's possible. I mean, anything's possible. Moving on, fight number 6. It is in the strawweight division. It is the 17-14 Angela Hill versus the 15-4 Caitlin Sosa. I went back and forth on this one. And I settled on one thing that I think is probably won't hit. I'll say that now. But I do think it has value from a couple of perspectives. One, I think Sosa throws very hard, like in every one of her punches. Like she's just trying to kill people. And I'm not just looking at the last fight where she hurt and then subbed Harrogate. I just look at her fights in general. Like she's throwing, sitting down big on punches, man. She wants to kill you. And Angela Hill is extremely tough. She's been through, a lot of wars. She's 40 years old. But that's part of the reason why I like the KO too. It's because at some point, like she's very, very old, she could eat some huge shot and get very, very hurt. And I've seen her hurt before. It's not like she hasn't been hurt before. She's been hurt before. And I looked at her last fight, man, and I swear, if it was the old Angela Hill just a couple of fights ago, I would have played her money line here easily. She looked so slow against Ricci, and her footwork wasn't there. She looked very plotty. I was not impressed. And I want to fade this girl, Sosa, to be honest. I don't think she's good. But she hits very hard. Angela Hill is probably going to give her chances to land on her. And, the price tag's $850. I don't love it. Again, I don't like this price tag. But it's the only prop that I can really give out here, not really. I guess there's another prop, but I'll leave that just in case you have that. But I don't really see many things hitting outside of a decision here if the KO doesn't happen. What do you have here, Tim?
I agree that I would definitely have a bet on Hill if I didn't see the last fight. Only the last fight, honestly. Like I just think that this is I don't know. It's just like the Denise Gomes fight is a very similar fight to this fight for me. Like if I wouldn't have seen the Ricci fight, I would have looked at this and I'd have just been like, dude, stylistically, isn't this chick very similar to Denise Gomes? Can hit hard, has a short time that she can do that. Seems to be a little bit gassy. Seems to be small and can be grappled. Lots of different things about it. So to me, I end up on the other side. I end up on the Hill side, and I agree that this is like a tough one where I don't think it's going to hit. But I just go like Hill has shown that she's wanted to grapple more in some of her last couple fights. I think that Sosa has shown that she can be finished in every which way. So she seems to looks to me like she has like a little bit of a quit in her. And she got reversed by Marnik Mann on the ground. So that was a pretty bad spot. So I like the late round props for Hill. I think that this is probably a fight that GTDs, but round 2 is plus 2,500. Round 3 is plus 3,200. If you take the sub, it's 41 and 50 to 1. I just think it's probably a decision, obviously, but I think it's worth a stab if either if she grapples or if you just see like, similar to I think it was Carnelossi. Isn't it Carnelossi that she finished in 3 like years and years and years ago for Hill?
Yes.
Yeah, so I just think it's something like that where it could just be a pace situation and just attritional damage. And if she does get her down on the ground, I think we saw that her jiu-jitsu is getting much better. So yeah, another one of these fights where it's just like I probably don't think it hits, but you're seeing huge lines.
Yeah, this fight is like decision written all over it, but the lines are terrible. Like
dude, the ends by split was the worst I've ever seen. It's like plus
25. I saw it.
Just fucking joke. Just an absolute.
All right, let's move on. Fight number 7. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 8-1 Jose Delgado versus the 7-2 Connor Matthews. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I think this is a good spot for Delgado. I think he seems to be just a pace and pressure fighter that's going to continue doing different things. He's got multiple different ways that he can beat you. He can beat you on the feet, can take you down, fuck you up on the ground, throws in mad combinations. Just is going to just continue to throw bombs at this guy. For me, I think it's more likely a KO than a sub, but I think the sub is definitely still possible. But I think that Matthews is kind of tough. It's one of the, I was laughing because I'm just thinking like one of those fighters that when you start to say like their first attribute that you like about them is that they're tough, that usually means that they're kind of a shitty fighter and that they just get beat up a lot. And I think that is pretty much Connor Matthews to a T. So to me, I just think he's probably going to get his ass beat for a while. This could be a painful GTD, but I'm going to take shots in the round 2, 500, round 3 plus 800 lean KO, but I'm not going to take
Where's 5 and 8?
It was FanDuel earlier today.
It's gone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Delgado's going to put the pace on him, man. Like he's just going to throw. He's going to throw everything in the kitchen sink. He's going to mix in takedowns. I think he's just going to overwhelm Matthews. And if you look at the Contender Series fight, he was getting overwhelmed in round 3. Like, could have been stopped, I guess, at some point. He was taking just an absolute beating in round 3, and he was gassed. And, Marshall has okay pace, but Delgado has an insane pace, an insane cardio. The lines suck again, 490 and 750, just absolutely terrible. But what do I think? Which props do I think have some value, any sliver of value? I think it's those. I think Delgado potentially finishes here. End of round 2, late round 3, something like that. I think he's going to finish. The kid he's green because I think he makes mistakes, but he's extremely aggressive. He's extremely tough, and he mixes everything, man. He mixes elbows, knees, stepping knees, freaking kicks, takedowns, punches, you name it. He'll throw it at you. And, he's facing a guy in Connor Matthews who I think they gave him a pretty good matchup for him, in my opinion. I think he can pretty much do what he wants. I do think Connor Matthews might grapple, is my suspicion. And if he does, I think he's just going to make you work. He's going to get back up, and Connor Matthews is going to be big trouble and tired, in my opinion. So, yeah, I like Delgado here, 2-3. Moving on, fight number 8. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 10-2 Rodolfo Vieira versus the 12-3 Andre Petroski. I wanted to play Vieira KO somehow, some way, but I didn't. I'm going with Vieira sub 2-3 plus 360. Most of his subs are a little bit later. I do think Petroski, when he's fresh, I don't think Vieira is going to have an easy time getting him down. Petroski can wrestle. He can grapple himself, especially when he's fresh. So I think Vieira is going to have better cardio. I think Vieira is going to win the grappling later. So, yeah, I like Vieira at sub 2-3. That's the other thing with Vieira is he's like hardly ever throwing ground and pound. He's constantly hunting subs. And I think I will say, if I was his coach, I'd be like, hey, man, listen, you need to throw some, because ground and pound, it'll open up your subs for you easier. So throw some. You're a big dude. You probably have heavy hands. Fucking throw some elbows, 12-6. By the way, I want to say that too. We have not seen almost anybody throw 12-6 elbows. The only person we saw throws 12-6 was the women's fight where she elbowed her right in her arse, and the girl went to the hospital. Did you hear that? What happened to her? She couldn't sit down for a week. She elbowed her. She went on Twitter and something posted and said, that was nasty of her to do that and illegal. Not illegal, but she's basically said, she messed me up. I can't even sit. And it was a 12-6 elbow to her butt. But anyways, yeah. I think Vieira finds a sub here, 2-3.
Dude, we are the Spider-Man gif here, dude, all day long. Yeah, I feel the same way. I actually did want to I did think that, if the fight stays standing because two grapplers are just taking each other out of their game and then they're boxing, that this could be a KO for Vieira. But I just tend to think that, I don't even think that he needs to necessarily get a takedown. He could just take his back standing in certain situations too. He's jumped people's backs in clinch situations. I do think that it is. I think people are saying that Petroski's wrestling is obviously better than Vieira's. It is. There's no question about it. But that does not mean that Petroski can't be taken down in this fight. Like, it doesn't mean that Vieira is like Vieira. I'm pretty sure Vieira had a grappling match with Derek Brunson recently and was throwing him around. Like, I don't know. I know Derek Brunson is washed and kind of old at this point, but like, his best attribute is his wrestling. So I just feel like the same thing. I just feel like this is probably a sub, probably a later round, if after a round of, maybe they're standing for a little bit and then harder to get them down. But then once Petroski starts to tire, I do think that the takedowns will potentially be there. I also think that I think that if Petroski gets down Vieira in any round, that he could be swept. So it's just like, yeah, give me the Vieira, the black belt killer by sub 2-3.
All right, let's move on. Fight number 9. It is in the lightweight division. It is a 20-4 Ismail Bonfim versus the 9-1-1 Nazim Sakov. I think this is fight of the night, by the way. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, this one should be pretty good. Stylistically, I think that Bonfim is a very, he's a quick boxer. He's got good striking, really good kicks. Sakov seems to be more of a brawler. Is not nearly as technical. I do think that Bonfim can tend to throw he's going to throw more combinations, and he's going to throw more volume, and he's definitely going to be the minute winner. It's going to be up to Sakov to hurt him in certain situations or potentially get him down on the ground to win moments. So I think it's a clear minutes versus moments fight. So I'm going to hang out the first ends by split here. Ends by split is plus 400. If you wanted to take Nazim by split, it's plus 1,200 for him. Ends by split to me, I was thinking it was going to be like plus 300 in this fight. I think that this fight hits the scorecards at a very high clip, minus a Nazim submission, something like that, if he was to be really proactive grappling and have success. But I don't even see that as a very high percentage either. So, or to happen. So for me, I think I like the ends by split. I think two fighters are going to be striking for 15 minutes, and you never know.
Now, I want to make Victor says I would rather go ITD than sub on this Petroski. I will tell you, people didn't know this, but Malkoon's right hip he had a hip replacement and he put titanium in there. So I mean, there's a reason why he got knocked out. Just give the guy a break. Anyway, I think this fight of the night, man. Two guys that don't want to take a step back. Two guys that, primarily strike. They throw big strikes. They're throwing with a lot of power. Bomfim just absolutely throws everything into his punches. He digs the body very good. Left hook to the body, extremely nasty left hook to the body. And Nazim throws hard himself. He throws hard. I will say, I think if he grapples, I think Bonfim has better jiu-jitsu. I think he's going to get himself into some bad spots, in my opinion. But I'm opposite of things. Finally, we're opposite. I'm opposite of you. I don't think this fight goes to decision. I think this fight's going to end ITD because of the styles. They're both huge. They throw huge punches, and they both don't like to take steps back. It's they got to meet in the middle and just probably fucking chuck big bombs. And I think, both the guys have huge power. Sakov is tough, but he's been hurt multiple times. It's not like he hasn't been hurt. Bonfim got dropped by a freaking grappler in LFA, so I know he can get dropped. So it's just the stylistic part of the fight. I think they're just going to throw down a lot. But I think Bonfim hits harder. That's my thing. He throws way harder. I think he hits harder. We saw Evan Elder drop Sakov. I'm going to go with Bonfim KO here, plus 420. I think I think he probably finds his chin, honestly. He's a little bit... Sakov is cleaner striker, but I do think Bonfim sits down a lot more on his shots, and Sadakov's hittable, man. He gets hit a lot, and what's his name? Slavo landed a lot of hooks on him, and that's all Bonfim throws is these big freaking hooks. So, yeah, Bonfim KO plus 420 for me. Let's move on. Fight number 10. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 13-5 Edmund Shabazian versus the 7-4 Dylan Bukka. I will kick this one off. I think this is a mismatch. They're trying to give Shabazian a win. I think he gets it. I think it's KO 1-2. Shabazian plus 190. Used Corolla. KO 1-2. I don't want to get cute. I don't want to give like anything crazy here. I think he's going to absolutely smash this guy. I want to make one point. In Shabazian's UFC career, guys, in his UFC career, he's only lost one round one in his career, and that was Derek Brunson. Everybody else, he's beaten in round one, believe it or not. And look at the names. Imavov, Hermanson, Anthony Hernandez. I mean, everybody. He beat everybody in round one except Derek Brunson beat him in round one. He won that one round. I mean, what's he gonna do to Bukka early here, man? Look at the level of opposition. I mean, you go and people can shit on Mearshart all they want. The guy is a wily veteran, and he knows how to survive. And then he's very extremely dangerous, right? Like, what is Bukka? Is he just gonna exist there? Like, what's gonna happen? Yeah, I just think Shabazian, they're trying to get him a win here. And they honestly found the guy. Like, they found the guy. Like, AJ Dobson, I think, is a lot more dangerous than like a Bukka is, right? And Shabazian got him out of there. Like, I just don't think Bukka has what it takes to even be in the UFC. Like, can he wrestle? Yeah, he can wrestle. But, like, when he faces guys like this that have very good takedown defense early when they're fresh and strong and a very good striker, he's probably gonna pick him apart on the feet, man. And you know, this guy might go for some weird failed takedown, and he's gonna get smashed when this guy's on top of him. So yeah, KO 1-2. It's bad line, but what am I gonna give out? I know the gassing out thing, people keep talking about that. I don't know if Bukka can finish anything. He can't even finish a ham sandwich. He's not finishing anybody. So I don't know. I don't know if he even can finish Edmund when Edmund's tired. Like, I don't know. I don't think he's gonna finish, man. Look at all the guys that he's gone to decision with. Like, not very good guys, and just going to decision. Bukka he's not a finisher to me. Tim?
Yeah, total lay and pray artist. I'm surprised, honestly, that Bukka still has his contract after that last fight with Petroski. Like, that was just the most egregious, like, I'm going to lay and just hold you and hug you so you don't advance position and sub me or finish me. So, yeah, to me, I'm not on the Dylan Bukka train. Shabazian, I mean, like, people, like, I get people in the chat are shitting on Shabazian, like, dude, look at his losses. Like you said, like, the losses that he has, he loses to people who are just the best. They're the best in the game at his weight class. And in these situations where he's better than fighters, he murders everybody. Like, it's just pretty clear as day. If you have somebody that he's a step down, he finishes, and if when you have step ups, he fights well, and then he fucking gasses out. Like, and he does have quit in him. There's no question about it. But the dude is losing to guys that are fucking elite. So, yeah, I'm on the same train. KO1, KO2 doesn't. I mean, plus 190 is not a good line, but it's also one of those things that I'm probably going to put some money on because I think that it's a very good line. Like, I think it's a very.
Thomas makes a great point. Honestly, if there's a fight that you should bet draw, it's probably this one. That's the fight.
Yeah,
that's the fight. It's probably live, but
don't you think round two? Don't you think, like, I mean, halfway through round two, he still was fucking up GM3. Like,
I'll be honest with you, the GM3 fight, like, it should have been stopped. Like 100%. This bullshit. That ref just, like, I don't understand. What are you supposed to do to find a stoppage, man?
He was like, 2 inches away.
teed off on this guy on the ground. Like, dude, when are you gonna stop this, bro?
Yeah.
Like, are you trying to get this guy killed? And then, and then eventually Edmund gassed out from trying to finish, bro. Like, honestly, a lot of people would have gassed out there. It's not only Edmund.
I just don't think, like you're saying, like the draw for me on the draw in this fight, I just don't think that Bukka does anything. Like, he doesn't hurt guys, and he doesn't it's even a fight where I feel like there's such a huge mismatch strength-wise and striking-wise that if you get to round 3 or you get to the last 2 minutes of round 2, I mean, it would take massive success before that happening for Shabazian to death gas at that point. I just think he death gasses against stronger guys that do damage and that push a pace. And
I mean, there's people saying he got cucked by GM, but GM3 is better than Bukka, guys.
By like 50.
He's got very good subs. He's sneaky and he can survive.
And he can strike way better. He can strike way better than Bukka.
Yeah, he can strike way better. I mean, he can survive. Look at his and experience too. How about that? Like, experience matters in the UFC. This guy has a shit ton of experience.
GM3 round 2, round 3 props are like it's like a system bet. Like, this is a guy that, like, he's notorious for fucking surviving these types of fights.
Edmund, I would not play his sub because, man, he loves the ground. He just loves GNP, man. His sub is like 600, I think. I would need like plus 900 or 1,000 for me to play his sub. I don't think it's I don't know. Hold on, let me fix this camera again. All right, let's move on here. That's enough. We killed it with that one. I think it's just Shabazian, man. They're trying. UFC is honestly desperately trying to get him a win because he's still so young, man. He's 27. This guy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, isn't he younger than Bukka? No, Butka's 25. That's right. He's young. All right, let's move on. Fight number 11. It is the co-main event of the night, and it is in the featherweight division. It is the 23-8 Cavalcante versus the 16-5-1 Yusuf Zalal. Tim, what do you got for us here, my friend?
This was a tough one for me. I've got one that I was looking at the Cater side, and I don't think that he wins this fight, but I was just like, his money line to me is the decision or split decision, and those are not bad lines. They're 7-1 and 18-1. I really think like that's the path for him. I don't think that he's finishing so. I mean, he's, in my opinion, never subbing him, and I feel like the KO. It's really just not easy to KO Zalal. We've seen Zalal in there with Topuria, and he's not getting KO versus him. He's just really, really quick, and he's in and out as an in and out striker. And that to me is like the kryptonite for Cavalcante. Cavalcante to me, even like in his prime, when you watch the Renato Moicano fight, it was just that. Like, he just got pieced up just by getting kicked and jabbed and then just ran away from just getting into the pocket with him at any moment. Like, that's the type of, like, if you're fighting Cater, that's what you have to do. And that's the exact style that you're getting with Yusuf Zalal, although I think he's faster and quicker than Moicano is. You add the ground game and you add the ability for, potential takedowns and things like that with the knee. Yeah, that's hilarious. I just, to me, I think that if you're on if you're betting the Cater side, it would be like a greasy split or a decision. I don't, like I said, but, the Zalal sub now is at the point where it's just like plus 310, sub 2, sub 3, plus like 1,000, plus 1,400. It's really a fight that I think it's more of a Zalal decision. And I don't know. You might see the KO for Zalal. I'll ask you obviously later if you think that it's possible that he could get him out of there with KOs. But just to me, it seems like Cater can take like a shit ton of damage, and maybe it's just that he's broken at this point and he breaks him. But I just don't think that Zalal's hands are that huge to knock him out. So I'll go with Zalal sub 2-3, but I think I'm really leaning more at points for Zalal on this one.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I think Zalal is really good. I think Cater is definitely fading. Like he's not anywhere near what he used to be. Um, I do think the change of scenery is good for him. I know a lot of people, no one's mentioning really this, but I kind of think TriStar has been really good for a lot of fighters lately, man. And for whatever they're doing there, like a lot of fighters have looked a lot different. They're looking a lot better going to that gym. And I think this is the first time Cater's left fucking New England Cartel in a long fucking time. And I think it's a smart thing to do, man. He needs the change of scenery, new gym guys, new partners. I think Font is there as well. I don't know if Font was there for the last. I think he might have been actually. Font was there actually for his last fight. And that's the fight that we went to. Font looked incredible and he won. And I just think they're doing a good job over there at TriStar lately, like game planning, and all that other stuff. Now, is that going to matter here? I don't know how much it's going to matter. Yeah, exactly. Font for Phillips. And that was a huge upset. I mean, this reminds me kind of that fight, I swear to God, because Phillips was like a minus 500, 600, and he lost, and Font won that fight. Font looked incredible in that fight, and he was at TriStar. And this is literally reminds me of the same shit. Because what did we say about Font, Tim? Going in that fight. Everybody said he was washed. He's done. He's fighting a young, hungry guy that looks incredible. And what happened?
Font by points.
This is the exact sentiment we're saying here. I swear to God. And I was thinking about that, when I was breaking this fight down. I'm like, damn, man, this feels like the exact same thing that happened with Font. And yeah, I mean, I think the line's a little bit too big. I do, just because, I think Cater has a lot of experience. Is he towards the end of his career? I do think that. But leaving New England Cartel, going to this new gym, getting new looks, getting new coaches. Who the fuck is their coaches? They're like their own coaches at New England Cartel for the most part. They have coaches, but it's not like, it's what's his name, but like they need a change of scenery. And I think this is really good for them. I'm going to go with Cater decision, man. I don't think, first of all, Zalal, I think this is his win equity. It's decision. He's not finishing Zalal. Zalal's very, very durable, good, everything, cardio, everything. If he wins, it's decision. All of his equity should be there. It's plus 900. So you're telling me, that he only has like an 11% chance to win this fight, by decision against Zalal.
Where is that at, by the way?
I think it's Rivers. Let me check real quick. I think it's Bet Rivers because that's where I bet it. I am pretty certain.
Yeah, that's
it's Bet Rivers. Yep, plus 900 if you want it.
Yeah.
It's still there. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those where I think Zalal wins, and I think Zalal will probably get a takedown or two and stuff. But there's a huge difference between Yusuf Zalal and Aljamain Sterling, right? Like Aljamain Sterling is just way stronger, way bigger, better grappler, you name it, And I know some people are playing sub. The thing, Tim, is like, look at the guys that Cater has faced that have gotten him down but haven't subbed him. Like the best guys, bro. Like if Aljamain Sterling can't sub him, like I don't know if fucking this guy can sub him, to be honest. I really don't.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I mean, that's why I saw that the split is 2,200 now. It's not 1,800. So for Cater as well. But yeah, I don't disagree. Like that's why I said to start the fight. I'm like, or to start my breakdown, I was like, I said the same too that you just said. And like I said, points for Cater, and I just think that those are the best. Those are the best lines. And the part for me that the only part where I would say I do think that the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling are better, clearly better for Aljo. But I also felt like in that fight that Cater was like just doing everything he could to survive and not get subbed. I don't know that he will do that necessarily in this fight. If he gets taken down, he might be a little bit more aggressive in trying to get up to his feet. But yeah, I agree with you.
But I mean, like, I went back to like others, like he's faced really, really good guys. And I don't know. I guess it's possible. Has he ever been subbed in his career?
Yeah, way earlier.
Oh my goodness, in 2008. So
Yeah.
we got to go back 17 years. He got subbed. Yeah, I mean, he's just such a good veteran that he knows what he's doing, like defending. And Yusuf Zalal has 4 straight subs, and I think that's probably why the line got nuked the way it did. But like Billy's done, man. Let's be honest. Billy is we just saw him get knocked out, and Billy's not. He's just toast, And then he got Aaron's. Aaron's cannot grapple for shit. And then Jack Shore was the one where I think it was impressive, where he dropped Jack Shore. He found this up, but guess what? Jack Shore fucking retired right after that fight. So it's like, okay, was his mind even in fighting anymore? But yeah, I mean, Zalal's good, man. He's looked really good. I said it when UFC got rid of him. I said it's fucked up that UFC got rid of this guy because he's really good, and he's proven me right now. And it just wasn't right for them to drop this guy at a really young age when they gave him like these shit matchups, and he was competing. He was competing well, poor guy. Like he goes to draw against Damon Blackshear. They give him Sean Woodson. He loses by split, and then the bad loss was Choi. Yeah, it wasn't a great loss, but Topuria, like, what? Look at who they gave him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's messed up. Anyways, that's all the fights except the main event, and we will continue here with the main event of the night. Before I do, guys, 455 live viewers. I appreciate you guys. Just do me a favor, hit the like, subscribe to the channel. Tell your mom, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, everybody. If they like MMA, then, come on over, shoot me a follow, subscribe, watch this show. Tim does a great job. I try to do the best as I can. And also, if you guys want to get in my Discord, there's a link down below, 25% off. I put a 25% off for the first month. Also, there's another link for some sports books. If you do sign up to those sports books, you get a month free by just depositing $5. And yeah, with that being said, main event time. It is in the middleweight division, Tim, and it is the 17-8 Jared Cannonier versus the 16-5 Gregory Rodriguez. And I will go here. I think this fight's going to end. I don't know how or where or who, but I'm going to take a shot on the bigger KO line on Cannonier, plus 375 on ESPN or Caesars, actually. I just think Rodriguez gets hurt a lot. Cannonier still hits hard. The last thing that goes is your power, guys. So Cannonier still has nuclear power. He hits very hard. You saw what he did to Caio's eye in round 4. I mean, absolutely huge fucking cut. He's competed very well in his last 2 fights. Did he get finished? Yes. Did he compete in both those fights really well? Yes. I think he took enough time off. A lot of people are saying, too much damage. 6 months is enough, guys. He took 6 months off from the Caio fight. I think it's fine. Can he get hurt again? Sure. Rodriguez hits very hard. Like, he's going to throw very hard. He's on all the sauce. Both these guys look like they're on all the sauce. Rodriguez looks much bigger, obviously, than Cannonier here, but I mean, Cannonier, everybody he's faced is bigger than him. Like, Imovov's bigger than him, right? Caio's bigger. By the way, Caio's not 6'1", guys. He's like 6'3", just so you know. He's huge. Caio's bigger. Imovov's bigger. All these guys. Adesanya is bigger, but, he finds a way. The guy's really good. He's got big power. And I've just seen RoboCop get hurt way too many times for me not to play plus 375 because he's going to put himself in the fire. And if he puts himself in the fire, I'm going to take plus 375. Also, RoboCop is not 32. I refuse to believe it. I think he might actually be closer to Cannonier's age or maybe even older. I refuse to believe he's 32. if he is actually 32, I'm sorry, RoboCop, but you are the oldest 32-year-old I've ever seen in my life. But anyways, plus 375 for me, Jared Cannonier. Tim, what do you have?
Yeah, I mean, like you have to be 35 to be the president, and he was the president of our country from 2008 to 2016. So, I mean, like that right there proves that the guy's at least 40s, in his 40s, maybe middle 40s at this point, maybe 50 years old. So, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, man, I see it the exact same way. I was just like, how do we get? Obviously, you know, how do we get to this money line is just, you know, people thinking that Cannonier is washed, and you have certain narratives that are correct. You know, people that thought that, you know, last week I gave out the worst play ever with Jusei being, you know, a 50% or better to win a decision, and that guy just, you know, isn't the man. Like, so you get these bad reads, and sometimes you have bad narratives. Sometimes the Suarez, you know, being washed is probably a good narrative from last week. So sometimes these narratives are right, and sometimes these narratives are wrong. To me, I just think that Jared, yes, he got finished in his last fight. I thought the one fight was a quick stoppage. I thought the other fight could have been stopped, that he went decision. But like you said, I mean, like he's up 2-1 against Imavov. Like that's, to me, it's just like, dude, I mean, this guy just beat the shit out of Izzy in the second round and knocked him out. And you're looking at Cannonier and he's surviving 4 rounds with him. And it's a questionable stoppage too. And he's up on the scorecards. I think that, I just think that he's just a more dangerous striker than all 3 guys that knocked out RoboCop. I just think that he's got more power than every one of them that has already knocked this guy out. The fight that swung me as well was the Iron Turtle fight, where he's getting his ass. He's getting his ass kicked he's on the cage, and then you just see like Turtle's you can see like the video game that his energy is like, and it just drops. And as soon as that happened, then he survived. But like, I don't see Iron Turtle as like a big hitter. And I just feel like if he's in any of those spots at all versus Cannonier, he's going to be on the ground. So yeah, I'm with you. I think KO plus 370. I think it's 2, 3, or 4 would be my pick. But yeah, KO 2, 3, 4. But yeah, I like the KO as well for Jared here.
All right. First of all, you are hating, Dixon. You just wanted to be in that picture, and you weren't. So you're hating. And then Mushroom, I think you are older. Now, I think RoboCop is older than you, not me, my friend. I look younger than you, Mushroom. So stop your nonsense. Okay. With that being said, Tim, Lambo parlays, I will kick it off. I have one, but it's extended. It's Zalal decision, Estevam sub, Ishmael Bomfim KO, 28-1. Add Delgado KO, 80-1. You, Tim?
That's hilarious. We got 3 of the same ones. I got Edmund KO, Esteban sub, Zalal points, Delgado KO, 36-1. And then if you just wanted to do like rounds, I did like a small one for rounds at Edmund KO 1-2, Esteban sub 1-2, Delgado KO 2-3 is 60-1.
Wait, did you have Zalal you said too?
I said for the first one, yeah, I said Zalal points.
Edmund KO,
Esteban sub, Delgado KO.
Okay.
And Zalal points is 36-1.
All of that is only 36-1?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Yeah. Okay.
And then like the round props ones, I only did 3. I did Edmund KO 1-2, Esteban sub 1-2, Delgado KO 2-3. It's 60-1.
RoboCop was started at pitcher Little League World Series, but listed at 12 years old. Probably. All right. Yeah. We went through all 12 fights. Is it 12 fights? We lost another one, right? It's still 12, I think now, right? Yeah, 12 fights. Went through all 12, 2 Lambo parlays. Tim, guys, this card, honestly, you got to tread really lightly. I think there's going to be a lot of violence, but It's a tread lightly card, man. I think a lot of juice wins. If I give you, you know what? I'm going to give predictions on every fight really quick. I think it's Cavalcante. I think it's Walker. I like Morales. I think it's Chaos Williams. I think it's Estevam. I like Angela Hill, Delgado, Vieira, the other Bomfim, Shabazian, Zalal, and Cannonier. I'm gonna go with Cannonier in the main event.
Yeah, you and I, this card, we have not been as like on the same picks as much as this week in a long while. We're on a lot of the same picks this week, but like it hasn't been that way for a while. But this is this card, it's weird. It's kind of sketchy. I totally agree with your call on that, and it's interesting that being a sketchy card, you and I both have like 90% of the same picks, and we're kind of looking at it the same way, which is good.
Hey, Mushroom, but you're 55, still have all your hair, but you can't see your pee-pee because your stomach is too big. Stop with your bullshit. Anyways, Mushroom's something else, dude. This guy. All right, guys. Thank you. 478 of you still in here. Appreciate you guys. Hit the like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. Good luck tomorrow. And let's cash those tickets for UFC Vegas 102.